Hello, good morning. Welcome sa Business Management and Organization natin. So, we are now in our week 10 or lesson 10. So, ang lesson natin ngayon is all about the managerial effectiveness part 2. So, we discussed already the part 1 in your lesson 9. So, our objectives for this topic is number 1, discuss the personality traits that affect managerial behavior, and number 2, explain the terminal and instrumental values of a manager. Okay, so these are your objectives for this lesson. Okay, so if you have any questions regarding our past lessons or previous lessons, mag-message lang kayo sa akin sa messenger. Okay, and please, before we start, please have your modules with you and go along with our discussion. Okay, so let's start our discussion. Ayan, understanding managerial personality. Okay, the manager occupies a variety of positions in the organizations, diba? The manager must understand his behavior in order to be effective in dealing with his people. Siyempre, kilalanin mo muna yung sarili mo bilang isang manager, di ba? So, on the other hand, the subordinates must understand the behavior of their manager in order for them to adjust to their leadership styles, mood, and attitudes. And of course, sa mga empleyado niya or sa mga subordinates niya, kailangan din nilang pag-aralan or yung behavior ng kanilang manager. Okay? So, one highly effective manager may be high on extraversion or negative effectivity. Kapag yung isang highly effective manager is yung extraversion or negative effectivity niya. Another manager may be low on both the traits and another may be somewhere in between. So, kailangan nating pag-aralan yung ugali ng isang manager. Okay? Siyempre, bilang isang employee or subordinates, kailangan natin kilalanin si manager. Most especially his or her behavior. So, members of an organization must understand that these differences across managers because they can shed light on how managers behave. So, when subordinates realize, ayan, for example, that their manager is low on extraversion, ayan, hindi sila talkative, parang hindi sila they are locked in dealing or creating a relationship with their employees. Ayan, anong gagawin mo? They will not feel slighted when their managers are aloof. Ayan, syempre hindi sila maging comfortable sa manager kung aloof siya sa mga empleyado niya, di ba? Parang the manager prefer to be alone. Ayan, parang mahirap siyang anong tawag dito? In Ilocano, asitgan, di ba? Mahirap siyang kunin yung loob niya, di ba? Bilang isang manager. Okay? They must understand the way the manager's plans, organize, directs, and controls the management of the organization. Okay? From the point of managerial behavior, the managers also need to be aware of their own personality traits and their traits of others. Siyempre, bilang isang manager, di ba, sabi nga natin, kailangan natin pag-aralan yung behaviors na natin. So, sino ba tayo bilang isang manager, okay? And the traits of others, of course, including that of their subordinates and fellow managers. So, a manager who knows that he has a tendency to be highly critical must try to tone down his negative approach, diba? Similarly, a manager who realizes that he is chronically complaining about subordinates may take it as a grain of salt and eventually realize the things that are things are not really bad at all. So, kailangan natin yung mga intindihin yung mga behavior o pag-aralan yung both sides, yung behavior ng isang manager at yung behavior ng mga empleyado natin. Okay? Managers and subordinates must understand the behavior, the individual characteristics, and look at it with appreciation of some fundamental ways that people differ with one another. Of course, iba-iba naman tayo ng personality. We have different personality. We have different behaviors. Okay? Living together in harmony is the name of the game in a diverse behavior and character of people. Okay, that is the understanding managerial personality. So we need to both understand the personality or the characteristics of the managers and the subordinates. Okay. Now, what are the other personality traits that affect managerial behavior? So, we have here the locus of control. Okay, locus of control. Ayan, people differ in views about how much control they have over other people and event around them. So, people with internal locus of control believe that they are responsible for their own fate, di ba? Kapag you have the internal locus of control, ayan, kasalanan mo. You are responsible in your own fate sa ginagawa mo, di ba? So, they see their actions and behavior as important and decisive determinants of important outcome in the level of job performance. So, they see that the success of their organization is a product of their good performance. So, most likely, yung mga managers natin kasi sila yung mga internal locus of control. So, nakadepende lang sa kanila yung success ng isang company. So they are accountable and responsible for their actions. Okay? So, what is the difference between the internal locus of control and the external locus of control? Let's say, for example, pag internal locus of control, ayan, I make things happen. Ayan, so for example, kapag hindi ka nakagraduate ng college because you did not do your best as a student, ayan, kasalanan mo yan. Therefore, nagkakaroon tayo ng internal locus of control. So, when we say, hindi mo kasi ginawa yung part mo, di ba? Hindi mo ginawa yung mga requirements mo, di ba? So, yun, nasa iyo yan. So, that is what we call internal locus of control. So, when we say external locus of control naman, ayan, there is nothing I can do about my future. Ayan, things happen to me, sabi niya. So, passive lang siya. So, nakadepende yung faith niya sa mga taong nakapaligid sa kanya. And therefore, kapag na-fail siya sa isang pangyayari or event na hindi niya na-achieve, ayan, ang sisisihin niya yung mga taong nasa paligid niya. So, that is the external locus of control. But, we will focus in the internal locus of control kasi yun naman yung managerial behavior ng behavior ng isang manager. So, kapag internal locus of control dito, sinasabi niya that the managers with these traits help ensure ethical behavior and they feel the decision making in their accountability and responsibility. So, responsible siya and accountable sila sa mga decisions na ginagawa nila. Therefore, kung may mangyaring hindi maganda, then sila yung sisisihin. Sisisihin nila yung sarili nila. Diba? At kung may mga achievements sa company, syempre, magiging proud sila sa kanilang sarili because they are the manager of that company or a certain organization. Kasi they are accountable and responsible for their actions that they are making and the decisions they are making also. Okay? They believe that outside forces are responsible for what happens and solutions are a cooperative effort of all concerned. So, managers are responsible and they need to this trait because they are accountable for the success. Ayan yung sinabi ko kanina. For the success of their organization. Okay? They need to believe that they can make difference in solving organizational problems. Okay? They are responsible, developing ethical standards of behavior for all their subordinates so that productivity and efficiency can be attained. So, kapag locus of control natin, internal locus of control yung behavior ng isang manager. Okay? Kasi sila yung responsible sa mga subordinates nila in order for their subordinates to be productive and efficient in their work. Ayan. So, that is all about the locus of control, and I will just play a video para mas maintindihan natin yung internal and the differences between the internal locus of control and the external locus of control before we'll continue again our discussion. Okay?
Control. An easy word to understand, yet a challenging word to actually deal with. We have people that think they control everything, others that think they are controlled by the world around them, and pretty much everything in between. Control can be defined as the power to determine outcomes by directly influencing actions, people, and events. When we look at it that way, we can begin to see that there is no way to control everything in our lives. I'm not saying we cannot control anything, but put in the context of that definition, we have to step back and really analyze what we can and cannot control. The word control becomes even more interesting when we have the word locus before it. You see, locus is defined as a position, point, or place, or more specifically, a location where something occurs. A person's locus of control may be internal or external. People who base their success on their own work and believe they control their life have an internal locus of control. In contrast, people who attribute their success or failure to outside influences have an external locus of control. For example, let's say you're a person with an internal locus of control and you get a promotion at work or achieve some other type of success. You will probably attribute that positive end result to the work you put in. In other words, your success was a direct result of your hard work. If, on the other hand, you have an external locus of control, you might attribute that promotion or success to external or environmental factors, such as luck, fate, timing, other people, or some type of divine intervention. Let's use the same example and say that you were denied a promotion. If your locus of control is internal, you would find a way to blame yourself for the perceived failure. If your locus of control is external, it would be easy, even natural, to blame outside sources beyond your control. Individuals who identify with an internal locus of control tend to take more responsibility for their actions, whether those actions or the end result are good or bad. They do not accept outside influence for the outcomes, no matter what that is. If, for example, this person did not get back to work in time for lunch, they would think they should have eaten in the office or not gone to lunch altogether. The results of the action are theirs and theirs alone to bear. On the other hand, a person who identifies with an external locus of control looks at everything around them as part of the success or failure. In many ways, they believe in the team aspect more than those that focus on the internal locus of control, as they will always praise those around them for a job well done, even if they had nothing to do with it at all. They are team players. There are drawbacks to both of these viewpoints, though. An internally focused person will be hard on themselves and constantly analyze what they did wrong. That perspective almost forces these individuals to be hard-charging, driven individuals that at times can assume a take-no-prisoners attitude. Conversely, those that have an external focus may come off as someone who just does not accept responsibility. While they are and can be team players, if the result is not a positive one, they will be the first to complain that something outside their personal control attributed to the shortfall. It is not difficult to imagine how the internal and external locus of control can impact organizational behavior. True, that impact will start at an individual level, internal or external control. But an organization is a grouping of individuals that will possess one of these traits, thus it will make up the entire organization. Take, for instance, the individuals that identify with an internal locus of control. They will be hard on themselves, and that is something a manager needs to manage. However, those same people will also be the hard-charging individuals we spoke about earlier. They could step over or around individuals to get the end result they need, and that can cause bad feelings and divides within an organization, something organizational behavior strives to identify and remedy at all turns. Of course, we cannot leave out the external locus of control people and their impact on organizational behavior. Imagine a team working very hard to accomplish a task and not getting the end result they need. The external person will complain, point fingers in other directions, and blame just about everything under the sun for the shortcoming. These are not traits that build team unity and positively impact organizational behavior. It doesn't matter if the direction is internal or external. A manager will need to manage the traits of all types of individuals and the subsequent groups or teams that are made up within them. One of the many goals of organizational behavior is to have a functioning work environment that focuses on achievement, communication, and embracing diversity. One can see how the achievement portion of organizational behavior can be impacted by the internal or external focus. These aspects can splinter an organization, and it is up to the manager and the leadership team to allow internal and external locus to be present to some degree, but not if it breaks down the fabric of the organization and thus the organization's behavior. External and internal locus of control is present in all of us and indeed can exist at the same time within us. Many people can shift back and forth between them, but they will always have one dominant control type within them. Remember, our locus of control is our perception of where control lies and centers on how we account for the successes and failures we experience. People who base their success on their own work and believe they control their life have an internal locus of control, while people who attribute their success or failure to outside influences have an external locus of control.
Okay, that is all about locus of control. Now let's go to number 2. We have the self-esteem or yung sinasabi nating pagpapahalaga sa ating sarili. So it is a degree to which individuals feel good about their individual talent and greatly believe that they have the capacity to do work. So they believe in their competencies and capable of handling the intricate managerial decisions that confront the organization. So being a manager, dapat may self-esteem ka. May tinatawag ka tayong pagpapahalaga sa sarili because doon naman nagsisimula yung natin, yung confidence natin, di ba? Doon naman syempre kung may confidence tayo, may self-esteem tayo. So they believe in their competencies. Ayan, magtiwala tayo sa mga skills natin, di ba? So yun yung dapat isa ding kailangan ng isang manager sa isang organization, isang behavior or personality trait na kailangan ng isang manager sa isang company, okay? So ayan, self-esteem, yes, I did it. Ayan, sabi niya sa una, I won't do it, I can't do it. So, nung lumaon, I want to do it, how do I do it? Ayan, I'll try to do it and I can do it. I will do it, yes, I did. So, that's me. I love me, or yung sinasabi natin, pahalagahan natin ang ating sarili, di ba? Therefore magkakaroon tayo ng confidence sa ating sarili na kaya nating gawin yung trabaho yun, or kaya nating maging isang manager. Okay, so that is the personality trait of being a manager. So managers with low esteem kasi have a poor outlook of themselves, diba? Kapag yung mga manager natin wala silang tiwala sa kanilang sarili, di ba? Syempre magkakaroon yan ng negative impact on the company, in the company, sa trabaho nila, di ba? So they are not sure about their capabilities to handle different work situations, di ba? So they say things negatively and they have poor opinions about things around them. So they need to be pushed to keep things going. So kailangan nilang i-push yan. Kapag may low self-esteem yung isang manager, push lang na natin. I-push lang ng push natin until ma-reach nila yung talagang ito, kaya ko pala. So ganito pala yun, okay? So, high esteem naman is desirable for managers because it facilitates setting standards of performance. Ayan, they try to choose activities and goals consistent with their level of self-esteem. So, they have confidence that they can carry important decisions and push for results consistent with organizational goals and objectives. Ayan. So, dapat high self-esteem yung kailangan ng isang manager. Okay? So, I will play again a video for us to understand about the self-esteem.
Confidence. It's a word you probably hear a lot, but what does it mean? Confidence is believing in yourself and your abilities. When you are confident, it means that you recognize the things you are good at and are happy to give new things a go. Having good self-esteem is a big part of being confident. Good self-esteem means you accept yourself and you feel positive about yourself, just the way you are. But sometimes it's hard to feel confident and good about yourself because we get caught up in comparing ourselves to others around us. But the thing is, everyone is completely unique. Even identical twins are unique. Everyone has different bodies, cultures, religions, styles, skills, and abilities. Comparing yourself to people who are different in all those ways is exhausting because you'll never be exactly the same as someone else. So instead of focusing on other people, why not figure out what you can do and focus on being the best version of yourself possible? One important thing to remember is that everyone is good at something. But sometimes we spend so much time focusing on why we aren't a whiz at absolutely everything that we forget this. There may have been a time when you tried something new, like a sport or a maths problem, and didn't do as well as you hoped. But every time you give something new a go, you have to remember that your first try probably won't be perfect. Things take practice, so don't be hard on yourself. When we don't do as well as we expect, we can sometimes start thinking negative things about ourselves. But instead of listening to these negative thoughts, remind yourself of all the things you are great at and your other achievements. Perhaps you're an ace at art, or really enjoy English and wrote a brilliant story. Maybe you have a knack for chess and can checkmate your opponent before they can even blink. Everyone experiences different levels of confidence. But did you know that you can train your brain to become more confident? A good way to look at confidence is to think of it as a muscle. A muscle grows when you work on it, right? Well, so does confidence. Working on your confidence every day helps to strengthen and develop it. So even though you may not feel incredibly confident, you can become confident. Here are some really simple tips to help develop your confidence. Reevaluate your goals. If you're overwhelmed by expectations to achieve, take a moment and set some realistic goals. Making small goals to reach your big final goal is the best plan, because it's easier to achieve those small goals in little steps than the big goal in one huge leap. Don't give up. When you try something new, more often than not you'll fail at first, and that's okay. It happens to everyone. It's a cycle of trying, failing, and trying again until you get there. Just don't give up. If everyone who failed on their first attempt gave up, we wouldn't have the internet, nor would we have aeroplanes, medicines, or phones. The key to success is to keep on trying. Turn the volume down on that negative self-talk. Everyone has positive and negative thoughts, but did you know that you can choose which ones to listen to? When you have negative thoughts, just let them go and listen to the ones that help you to feel positive. If you keep doing this, you will be training your brain to be more confident. Be constructive, not destructive. Criticism comes in two ways: constructive and destructive. Bullies saying nasty things is destructive criticism. But a teacher recommending some ways you can improve at school is constructive criticism. So reject the comments that bring you down and let in all the comments that help you grow. Which leads us to the final handy tip for confidence. Believe in yourself and celebrate your differences. Nobody is the same. It's a fact of life. So why spend time trying to compare yourself to other people when you'll only ever be yourself? Find the special qualities that make you you and love them. Perhaps you could even make a list. Did you know there are some real benefits to being confident? When you're confident, you have more energy, you're happier, and you're more comfortable with yourself, which means you can enjoy yourself more. If you're confident, you'll be more willing to give things a go, which means you might discover new things you really enjoy. So next time you're experiencing negative thoughts about yourself or hearing destructive criticism, let them pass like clouds in the sky. And remember the things you're good at and the wonderful characteristics that make you unique and irreplaceable.
Okay, that is all about the self-esteem. Okay, number 3, let's go to the need for achievement, affiliation, and power. So when we say need for achievement, ayan, the need for affiliation muna. And the need for affiliation is the next extent to which an individual is concerned about establishing and maintaining good interpersonal relations. Yung affiliate, ayan. Siyempre, nagkakaroon tayo ng interpersonal relations kapag na-maintain natin o nakapag-establish tayo ng magandang relationship sa kapwa natin or sa katrabaho natin. So, managers would like to be accepted by the people around them. So, they get along with other people and treat them fairly and squarely. Ayan. So, that is all about the need for affiliation. Okay? So, yan dapat yung mga traits natin na being a manager. Okay? So, the need for power is the extent to which an individual desires to control and influence others. Okay? So, this has something to do with leadership role in the organization. So, he enjoys being on the lead and feels happy performing the role of leadership. Ayan. Siyempre, kapag if you're a leader, you have the power to lead your subordinates or your employees, diba? So, he displays high level of people behavior orientation and it feels like happy working with them, diba? Kapag display ka ng you are able to lead them, ayan, kung ikaw yung manager, sinusunod ka nila, ginagawa nila yung sinasabi mo, di ba? Nakakapag maganda yung feeling, di ba? And you are happy working with them. Okay, so that is for the need for power. And of course, the need for achievements and power are assets for line and middle level of management, level managers. Okay, upper level managers have more control the wider organization system of operation. Of course, they are at the upper level manager or the top level managers nga sila, diba? So, a high level need for power may not always be desirable as it may lead them to be liked by others at the expense for desired organizational performance. Okay? Siyempre, kapag maganda yung performance mo, na-achieve natin yung results na kailangan natin, di ba? So, that is for the need for the achievements. Okay? So, yan yung mga other traits natin, personality traits natin for being a manager. Okay? So, character and traits vary from managers to managers. Ayan, syempre nakadepende din naman yan kung sino-sino yung mga magiging manager, di ba? Yung mga ibang ugali ng isang manager. So, these are dependent on their training and value system acquired in the industrial environment. Ayan, their formal training and the experience that they acquired in the performance of their functions. Okay? Now, let's go to the terminal and instrumental values of managers. So, managers and executives have values, moods, and emotions just like any individual in the organization. So, the extent of how they show this emotional feeling can be controlled according to their respective personality build-up. Ayan. So, let's first discuss about the terminal values. Okay? This is a personal conviction about lifelong goals, ayan, or desirable path towards success in life. So it leads to the formation of the norms or informal rules of conduct in the performance of his task, ayan, as a manager of the organization. So, it also refers to his behavior of honesty or courteousness in dealing with people in the system. Ayan, kapag terminal values, ito yung mga goals that the person would like to achieve. Ayan, would like to achieve during his or her lifetime. Ayan. So, they signify the final goals and objectives of a life of a person, and they are his or her destinations. Okay? So, kapag yung manager yan, ayan, the manager who thinks a sense of accomplishments is more focused on making a lasting in contribution to more productivity in the organization. So, an example ng terminal values, ayan, yung mga sabi kasi natin is pag terminal values yan are the highest values in person's value system. Ayan, therefore they are very important and these values are shared by group as a whole. Ayan, examples ng terminal values are world at peace, family security, freedom, equality, self-respect, happiness, wisdom, ayan, true friendship, ayan. Gaya ng nandito sa presentation natin, ayan, brotherhood spirit, ayan yung mga terminal values natin. So, being kind and help others without expecting anything in return. Social recognition, ayan, being famous, respectful, and highly regarded in this society. An exciting life, having a colorful, ayan, exciting and adventurous life. So, yan yung mga terminal values natin. And of course, true friendship, having true and loyal friends who understand us. Mature love, having true love and true understanding with opposite sex partner, and of course the religious spiritual life, having high moral standard. Okay, so a manager who places equity at the top of his value supports efforts of his organization. So kung na-achieve na lahat ng yan, kung meron si managers yung mga terminal values na yan, ayan, magkakaroon siya ng support to the organization, and he can explore talents of his workforce and recognize their efforts and contribution. So that is for the terminal value. Okay? And when we say instrumental values, ayan, this refers to the personal conviction about the desired modes, ayan, of conduct or ways of behaving in the organization and the work environment. So, The relative importance that the manager places his ambition, competence, and responsiveness are significant behaviors towards better performance. Okay? So, ano ba yung instrumental values? Ito yung mga modes of behaviors na para ma-achieve natin yung mga terminal values that we have. So, these values are often used in the day-to-day lives natin. Ayan. So, these values lead to conflict since they differ within a group. Ayan. So, for example, yung yung mga so being cheerful, love, honest, self-control, capable, ambitious, ayan. So, nandito yung sa presentation din natin yung mga examples, self-control, tolerant, restrained, self-discipline, tolerate to all the matters. So, number 2 is independent, ayan, responsive to situations or opportunities. So, flexible ka, willful ka, adjusted to situations, madali kang mag-adjust sa mga situations and opportunities. And number 4, contented. You are contented. Accept one's true status and satisfied with what one has. Okay? Number 5, interdependent, mutually helpful. Ayan, capable and calm, conscious. So, being a manager, pag instrumental, when we say if you have that instrumental values, ayan, the manager who consider being creative and daring is more likely to be innovative yan. Nag-take yan ng risk as a challenge greater performance. The creativity of a manager will enable him to analyze events and make positive reactions to experiments and make positive changes. Ayan. So, the manager who is considered as honest and truthful is a driving force for all members of his department. Okay? So, kapag honest siya and truthful siya sa kanyang members, siyempre magkakaroon yan, magbe-behave yan, behave ethically in all dealings with peers and stakeholders. Okay? He is needed in the field of finance and accounting, and all the responsibilities for trust and confidence are very essential. So yung mga instrumental values kasi, kabilang dyan yung honesty, yung pagiging faithful mo, pagiging truthful mo, and therefore, syempre, yung mga responsibilities mo, you are, for example, you are in the field of finance and accounting, syempre, may trust and confidence ka sa kanila. May trust and confidence sila sa'yo, diba, sa manager, okay? Another equally important terminal value of a manager is self-control and self-discipline. So, we can, instrumental, he can control his emotions and can handle stress effectively. Ayan. He can be more effective in the area of production. Ayan. Palagi nating sinasabi yan in the area of production and efficiency and effectiveness. Ayan. And human resources which could handle integrate job of managing diversified employee behavior. So, that is the difference between the terminal value and the instrumental value. Okay? I hope that, I think we reached the end of our lesson, and I hope that you understand the lesson and you learn something today. Let's go to your requirements. So, your requirements for lesson 10 for business management and organization, we have here the activity 1. Ayan, identify and write the correct answer. So, i-identify nyo lang, that is 1 to 15, and activity 2, true or false, write if the statement is correct, and write if it is wrong. 1 to 15 din yan, okay? So, these are your activities for lesson 10. So, if you have any questions regarding the lessons or regarding the requirements, feel free to message me. Do not hesitate to message me on Messenger, okay? So, that's all for today, and have a blessed day ahead, and mag-ingat pa rin tayo, okay?